Welcome back to the Dragon's Lair, everybody. My name is Wade, and this is my show Let's Talk, where we talk about Warhammer 40k, specifically Tyranids. We're kind of at the point in all of my reviews of data sheets where I've done most everything, and we're kind of at the bottom of the barrel, the things that I saved for last. I'm still going to talk about them, even though I don't like many of these things. I actually do like the Harpy. It's time to talk about the Harpy. Now, the Harpy has a special place in my heart, and it's kind of for a funny reason. So, I would not use a Harpy in like an RTT, a setting like that, just because it's not very optimal. There are other things that are going to score better, that are going to be tougher and last longer, that's going to put out more damage. So I wouldn't take the Harpy in an RTT. I own a Harpy. I have taken the Harpy in fun friend games, and he's actually, I don't remember if he won that game, but he has a very special moment that I'll tell you about. So let's talk about the Harpy. 20 plus. So he's a flyer. So his movement is so big, uh, you, you might accidentally fly him off the table, and then you'd have to bring him back in. Remember, anything that doesn't have a circular base needs to use 2 inches to pivot. So you've got plenty of room to pivot, and that's just sort of putting him in between terrain. A lot of RTT terrain is pretty dense, so just keep that in mind. You should have lots of room for your Harpy. Um, Tough 9 is not great. I know it's really Tough 9 is big, but especially in the RTT scene, you're gonna get las cannons and melted guns and all sorts of stuff that is just gonna melt him. Um, 3 plus save, not great, but it's pretty okay as far as saves go. He's pretty much never gonna get cover, so just keep that in mind. And their wingspan and with their tail, most everything will be able to see him. It's hard to hide a Harpy, and that's kind of the problem. Everybody can see him, and if they have range, everybody can hit him. And I guess you could get cover like from being behind buildings and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. 12 wounds. You would like to think that that's enough and that's good. It's not enough, and it's not good. Um, Now I know he can't be like our Tyrannofexes and our emissaries and stuff like that. Not everything can have 16 wounds and 11 toughness and so on and so forth. And I get that, but what I'm saying is there are other things that you can take that will survive longer, that will do more damage, that will score objectives, and are more worth their points. So that's why I'm booing on the Harpy. Leadership 8, not great. It's a pretty standard number across the board for a non-Synapse creature, but keep in mind, if you put him in Synapse, he's rolling 3d6 and should be no problem. OC0, which should come at no surprise because things that have the I think it's the aircraft keyword. Things that have the aircraft keyword down at the bottom there, they can't score. They can't hold objectives. So, that's probably a good thing, or else you'd have like massive flying armies and they would be all over the place scoring, and that would be a big problem. Looking at ranged weapons, you get the Stinger Salvos no matter what. He comes with the Twin Stranglethorn. Um, Man, I always put the Venom Cannons on him. So the Venom Cannons, so it's twin heavy Venom Cannons, blast and twin linked. So keep in mind you get an extra attack for every 5 models in a unit. So if you're shooting at a 10-man, it would be D3 plus 2, which is not terrible, but you probably wouldn't be shooting the heavy Venom Cannon at a 10-man unit. You're going to want to shoot armor. Elite infantry and armor. D3 shots is not a lot, so not really a fan there. 3 plus to hit, pretty good. Strength 9, pretty good. AP 2, pretty good. Damage 3, good. The only problem is it's the low number of attacks. So low number of attacks is going to convert to a low number of wounds, and then if they save half of them, they're either going to save half of them or all of them, and then you didn't do anything, and that's a struggle. I guess the Stranglethorn cannon is a little bit better because it's D6 plus one, although it's pretty swingy. Ballistic skill 2, that's pretty good. Strength 7, so I guess if you're fighting guard or some sort of low toughness high horde army, I guess. AP 1, still not bad. Keep in mind it's twin linked, so you get to reroll the to wound. That's pretty okay. But like I said, low number of attacks, so like the Stranglethorn cannon is swingy. So you're gonna roll that one. It's gonna happen, and then you have 2 attacks. Or you're gonna roll that 2, and then you have 3 attacks. And 3 attacks are just not going to convert, maybe 1 or 2 wounds, and then they'll save half of them, and 1 goes through, and yay, 2 damage, you killed 1 guy. Just not enough. There are, once again, I love the Harpy, but there are better options. Scything Wings, 4 attacks, not great. Weapon skill 4, not great. Strength 7, not great. If he's in Synapse, that's 8. AP 1, 2 damage, nothing impressive. Core, Deadly Demise, so keep in mind when he dies, you roll a d6. If you get a 6, he explodes. The d3 is how many mortal wounds that go out. Hover means you don't have to take that 20-inch movement. Faction Synapse, which means he can benefit from Synapse. Here's the glory. Spore Mine Cysts. Each time this model ends a normal move, you can select one of the following. This is the one that I select. Select one enemy unit it moved over during that movement and roll 6d6 for each 3+ that unit suffers 1 mortal wound. So it's kind of like Tank Shock, except for he never actually comes in contact with the enemy unit. The reason why I love this is I once killed a Lord Discordant. And if you know anything about the Lord Discordant, he's a bad mamma jamma. Him and his mechatendrils and his crazy glaive weapon of mass destruction. He's a bad dude. And I love the idea of the Harpy flying over him and, excuse the vulgarity for lack of better definition, pooping out spore mines on top of him and killing him. Mortal wounds are no joke, and you're going to roll 66, you're going to get like 3. So using the Harpy as a harassment tool to fly over and drop mortal wounds on people, that's actually kind of cool. Or you can add 1 spore mine unit containing D3 models to your army, set them up anywhere on the battlefield that is wholly within 6 inches of this model and more than 9 horizontally away from all enemy units. You cannot select this option for more than 1 model per turn. So only 1 Harpy can do it per turn. I don't think that option is as great. I think the Tank Shock option is much better. I guess it's closer to grenades, because Tank Shock goes off of toughness. So anyways, it's closer to grenades, but I think grenades is on a 4+, and this is on 3+. But anyways, point is, I could be wrong about grenades. Point is, you will put the mortal wounds on with this, and mortal wounds stick. I mean, you can feel no pain them, but mortal wounds are pretty gosh darn good. In the end, I would not take a Harpy. With Invasion Fleet, you're going to either, in my opinion, you're always going to hyper-adapt for sustained hits or hyper-adapt for lethal hits. I see him as a harassment tool. He can't take back objectives, but he can stand on the 3rd or the 4th table quarter, and, you can score points with your secondaries that way. He'd be really hard to shift because you got to chase him, and he'd hide behind stuff. I really wouldn't use a rapid regen on him, and I really wouldn't use any other stratagems on him. I would just let him do his thing, and hopefully people would ignore him, and then he can poop out some spore mines and hurt people. He's another thing to worry about. High toughness, high wounds. Yeah. I wouldn't use one just because there's so many other great things. Maleceptors, Tyrannofexes, Emissaries, 100 Gaunts. I have a list with 100 Gaunts right now. Anyways, I really enjoy sharing this information with you guys, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen. We here at the Dragon's Lair want to say thank you for spending your time with us at the Dragon's Lair.